What is going on, guys? Grave here. Today I'd like to give you a tour of my grand gallery of Tamriel. Now, of course, this is the home we get for free this month inside of course, the Golden Pursuits. And I've made this one of the guild homes we use in the guild I have here on PS5. Of course, we have some other guild houses as well with all the crafting stations and stuff like that. But we have several, like I said, options for our guild houses, and this is the one I decided to kind of make the guild house here, and I think it's a pretty cool one. I kind of stuck with the theme of it being something to show off everything that I kind of have got over the years in the last 10 years of playing the Elder Scrolls Online. You know, all of your statues and things like that. So I kind of went with the theme of a museum. So this is what it looks like when you first walk in. I decided to put this massive statue here, which I always thought was really cool. And of course, I have my music boxes and things in all the different zones for, you know, music throughout the house itself. And of course, I just did some statues around each side and kind of in all the little areas here with a little bit of lighting. Decided to kind of go with a dark, rainy look. I just like the way it looked personally. Of course, put some more banners up. This house already has some really, really cool banners anyway that kind of go throughout it, like you would see here. These the ones that they kind of gave with the house. The house has around 300 furnishing items already in it. Of course, a lot of that is trees and shrubs and things, but we do have some different options for, you know, banners and rugs and things like that. It's the 10-year anniversary ones. Now, of course, kind of this side, have my big, of course, dragon statue here, and then, of course, the dummies. You know, if you want to come in and practice, you know, rotations, thing like that. I got a few different, you know, dummies that are you know, from the smallest of 321k, you know, up to your 3 million, your 6 million, and of course your 21 million. So I kind of made this like a little training area over here. And of course, at the front of the house, decided to put some ivy hanging from it. Use this cool tree here, of course, which is an antiquity item. Some of the other banners that I have kind of placed here on the front door. Of course, the Moloch Ball statue, which is one of my favorite in game. So I kind of gave it its own little area. Added a couple trees that, of course, were not in this area. I took a lot of the trees that are present when you first come in out and use some of the trees that I prefer in game. And of course, you can get a lot of these from the different achievement vendors out there, or just the zone vendor in general. They have some really cool trees from each zone in the game, so I kind of decided to go with a different look. Kind of the crafting area over here, this is mainly for me personally, but of course, like I said, some people in the guild may use it. We do have guild houses with all the crafting stations, but this is just something of mine over here that I have kind of thrown together to have a little small crafting area, to have some of the, you know, cool looking crafting stations that you can collect from antiquities and things like that over the years. Of course, the new scribing altar, stuff like that, and of course, you know, my boxes and all that kind of thing, or all those kind of things, you know, just to have my gear and stuff over here if I need to do anything. And of course, just a little small area for the vendors. This house, just in general on the outside, is really cool looking. I thought it was a very, very good one for a free home. This thing is absolutely insane size-wise, and we already have some massive houses in game. We've been given massive houses for free in the past, but this one was just, the layout of it is very, very neat. So, like I said, kind of stayed with the whole idea of it being a place to kind of show off your trophies and things that you know, you usually get throughout your time playing ESO. So I put the monster heads here. Have some display cases with some different items inside of them. Of course, your monster trophies from trials, from, you know, dungeons and things like that. Decided to hang those on the wall kind of when you enter here. Like I said, another side over here with a display trophy with some different little small items inside of it. And of course, you kind of walk in. I love that stained glass window. That one's absolutely epic looking one. And I wanted to go with something a little bit different inside. Of course, I left a few of the trees here, kind of rearranged what was here already. But I want to go with something kind of a different look. Like I said, going with that more of a kind of museum theme. So this statue is finally something I could find or find a place to put it, because that thing is absolutely massive and it looks out of place in a lot of the other homes that I have. And I thought it looked really, really good right here. So kind of went with that idea of, you know, just having, like I said, some more statues, just kind of make it look like that museum. On the sides here, changed out some trees, went with, you know, some different plants that have some different lighting on them. Put some banners up around the walls that, you know, that were not already here. But just kind of changed a little bit in here, not too much, because I liked some of the statues that were available, but not really a big fan of some of the trees and things they had. So decided to go with just some light work inside of here. This is a house, I think I left around 40 slots left for any future furnishings or things that I might decide to get that I would rather have in here. Of course, all around the house went with your monster heads from trials and dungeons and things like that. And then, of course, like I said, some different things that you could use just kind of in general here that you've received in game. A lot of this stuff looks like trophies and stuff that you would just kind of want to show off. So that was kind of the idea that I wanted to go for. Even have some different banners everywhere. And I started to go with more of a one single kind of theme when it came to the banners. But at the same time, I was thinking this is the house is kind of celebrating 10 years of ESO. So why not mix it up? You know, have banners, have stuff in the house that's from all different parts of the game, kind of just mixing it and kind of meshing it together. That way, you know, it kind of represents that 10-year anniversary of the game just in general, with all the different styles and things that I have kind of placed throughout the home. Once again, kind of go through here, just added some new wall decorations, a lot of the paintings that I've had in some of my other homes that I've just kind of collected over time. Wanted to place those out through here. Of course, some more statues, some more different small things in these little boxes here. This is, of course, the newer statue we got not long ago, and one of the Golden Pursuits. I think that thing's pretty cool looking. Just some little small things like this. I've collected so many of these over the years that have just sat in, you know, one or two of my other houses or sat in some of my storage homes, and I thought this would be just a really good place to kind of place all of this stuff out here and kind of show it off kind of all in one area. And this house is large enough and kind of has the layout to allow you to do that. Just kind of want to make these like little small areas that you look like you would go down maybe like a park and kind of sit down on the bench or something like that. Of course, going around the wall, some more banners here. Of course, different types of statues, paintings, like I said, monster heads. We'll go to the other side real quickly. The thing that I had kind of an issue with was once you fill up this space, and that's like all large houses inside of ESO, once you fill up the inside space in a big house, you try to make it look full, you run out of room for outside areas, and this one has a massive outside area as well. I want to kind of just put out some NPCs here, different ones I've collected along with some of the cakes and things. Made my own, I guess what you would call aquarium here, something just to kind of show off in this display case. But it's just some small things, like I said, that I've collected throughout my time playing the game. But kind of getting back to what I was saying, to be able to fully decorate this house and make it all look full is a hard task. It's one of those things that's not easy to do, and we all know that really large homes in this game, that's definitely a hard thing to do, because once you fill up one area to look kind of like you want it, some area is going to be a bit thinner. Things are going to kind of have to be placed a little bit differently. That is one issue I've always had with these large houses, considering, you know, we only have those 700 slots to place furnishings down. I know that's always been one complaint. Maybe one day we'll get some more furnishing spaces for these larger homes. Kind of did the same thing on this side, you know, kind of the idea of a park where you can sit down here on the bench with this kind of main theme here in the middle, with some, you know, trophies and different knickknacks and things I've collected over my time and playing, from, you know, the furniture vendors to even just digging up things and antiquities, even stuff you would get maybe within crown crates. All of this stuff kind of fit really well together, in my opinion. Of course, kind of going around here, same idea. Went with some more little small items here. Of course, just some more statues and things in this area as well. But overall, I was kind of happy with the way it turned out. You know, just to have a lot of different banners, a lot of different paintings, a lot of different stuff just in general from all facets of the game. Didn't have to, you know, really match, or didn't really have to be the exact same thing. I wasn't really going for just a style theme here. I was going for more of a just kind of celebrating the game in general. So the outside, like I said, was kind of my challenge to, you know, at least put some things out here to make it look full, because by the time I got to this point of decorating, it was already getting pretty full just in general, and I wanted to save a few spaces in case I find some things in the future that I would like to place in here. So just kind of went with a few other little collectibles that I've got over the years. Kind of on the side, made a little small courtyard area here. And then upstairs, I decided, instead of really trying to decorate this out completely, just to go with a little small theme of some other type of collectible that I've kind of got, just still going with the same idea of it being like a museum. So kind of these little outside areas. It has some little small things with some lighting kind of going around here, some plants and stuff like that. Just to kind of, you know, take up a little bit of space, but also look like there's things here, but at the same time, it was kind of hard, like I said, to really fill it up. That's why I decided to kind of go with some lighting and some plants around the edges of the balcony. And of course, we all kind of have that challenge when it comes to decorating these really large homes. But this is something that's still kind of a work in progress. I've not decided that this is where everything's going to kind of be in the end. But I kind of like the idea of just having some larger items right out here outside to kind of, you know, show off some more things, that, you know, collectibles and things from the game. Like I said, just have some plants and stuff like that. And this house has a crazy view. Whether you have it in the daytime, the nighttime, you kind of see the snow-capped mountains off in the distance, which is a really cool feature to me. And that's one reason I think this house is one of the best ones probably in the game. This is a house that's absolutely crazy, plus it's free, and this is definitely one of the best houses that ZOS has given away over the last several years. We've gotten many homes. This one probably is one of my personal favorites in the game as of right now. Anyway, leave me a comment with your thoughts about this. Let me know if you have completed everything to get the Grand Gallery of Tamriel. Let me know how you're planning on decorating it. And of course, if you like the video, hit the like. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.